Hello. I just realized that it's World Cerebral Palsy Day today. And for some reason I tend to forget this day every year. I feel bad about it. Like I should be more aware as an activist and as a person living with cerebral palsy. I feel like yeah. So happy World Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day. Woo! Go us. Shout out to all my fellow CP warriors. It's cool to have a day where we can remember that our disability matters. I tend to forget this day because although my disability is important to me and having cerebral palsy has definitely shaped me. It's a huge part of my identity and how I understand myself and how I function and exist and occupy space in the world around me. But it also doesn't occupy every second of my day, and it doesn't take over my mind space all the time. So obviously it makes me do things differently, but I don't want that to define what I do and what I achieve in the world. So yeah, my disability is important to me, but it's not the most important thing in my life. I have other things going on. So if anyone has questions or comments, like let me know and we can chat about those things. But just remember that there's more to me than my CP. It's been interesting recently being a person with a disability because we are living in an outbreak and people with cerebral palsy are also high risk and more susceptible to getting the virus. So that caused a lot of anxiety in my life for the last week, but I'm figuring out how to cope with that. Because I've had my disability my whole life, I don't ever really want to admit that it makes me more vulnerable. Like, I know that inherently, but I don't like to promote that. And now that's kind of necessary because people who are not at risk are still needing to do things and to take precautions to actually protect the vulnerable people in the communities. And that's me as well. I live a really fit and active life, but I don't know how affected my lungs are right now. Like I haven't had like a lung capacity test like ever, I think. But apparently that's a CP thing, and so I don't know. So that's created a lot of anxiety. But I'm choosing now to not stress about it. I'm choosing now to again focus on what is in my control, focusing on things that I can do now. And that's what everybody else needs to do around me and anybody with a disability or anyone who's in a vulnerable group to actually be superheroes and just stay home. South Africa is going into a national lockdown today at midnight, taking the necessary precautions to protect themselves. And if people are protecting themselves, then they're protecting me and like the whole disabled community. So don't underestimate what you're doing, and don't think that staying home is a waste of time. You're doing your part to protect everybody. And it might be a weird train of thought. Let me know if this resonates with anybody, but I've kind of realized that my living with cerebral palsy, I guess I kind of live in a permanent state of lockdown, that I want to do things and my body says no, and I can't do those things in that way or in a way that other people do them. So I've had to figure out new ways of doing what I want to do. And with that, I think it's going to be a really good lesson for a lot of people to kind of create some perspective and understand that, you know, now in a lockdown we have to also do things differently, and we're not able to do things as we used to, and we have to figure out new ways. And I think that's really reflective of a life with a disability, whatever it may be. We have to be creative people, we have to stay positive, we have to find things that keep us in a mind space that will enable us to do more in the future. So with that, I think I'm going to end the video and say stay safe and subscribe. See you later.